Sorry, I'm just trying to get this camera to be a little bit more centered over the work without distortion. So let's see if I can make this happen. Apparently I can't. What's going on here? Okay. I got too much stuff on my desk. Okay, what am I doing today? Okay, I'm gonna need to keep track of where this paper sketchbook thing needs to be. Okay. Does that look weird? No, this is fine. Okay, I guess we'll go. I don't know. I'm just gonna draw today. I don't know what I'm gonna do. A lot of ink. Just gonna try to fill up a couple of pages. Maybe do some colored pencil over top. I don't know. But I'm getting so much glare from windows out here. Where am I gonna draw? Can't draw there. I guess I could put something here. Now I don't like where my camera is. I don't want to do too much moving of stuff though. Sorry, I'm just situating an iPad. Man, I don't like my paper being that far forward. Okay. Well, whatever. What have we got? I guess we'll just try to draw. We'll just try to draw something here. I could probably put up the reference photo, actually. Never mind. Hey Flavio. Any tips on how to improve drawing faces? I'm really struggling with it. Maybe I'll do one later. Yeah, there's tips. If you let me know what you're struggling with, it might help a little bit because there's so much that goes into drawing faces. I'm just gonna loosen up with a brush pen right now. Actually, I might go like this. It should be in focus. Okay, brush pen. Just trying to figure out where to start here. These are going to be very big glasses, which is probably fine. Positioning features are always in the wrong place. I overlay my drawings on the reference in Photoshop and there's always something in the wrong place. Eyes are the hardest features. Yeah, I totally agree that eyes are the hardest features. I'll do a little demo if you stick around after this, just to show you how I attempt to place features. Sort of just warming up right now. But a lot of it comes down to having a really solid and strong method for constructing the head. And it usually involves exactly what I didn't do here, which is doing some pretty rigorous measuring of where features relate to one another. But I'll do it in the next sketch right after this. So I'm just sort of, like I said, I'm just sort of warming up here. I don't really know what this is gonna end up looking like. I was having a decent time with the brush pen last night. It's not working out so good tonight, but it's just probably because it's my first drawing of the day. Hey Andy, how are you? Julia, how are you? Brazilian in LA. Oh, it's nice in LA. It's nice out here in Portland. I'm not going to spend too long on this. I just want to get all the basic shapes in. I try not to get in too much on that drawing above it too. Might try to draw this portrait again later once I'm warmed up. I really do love these brush pens, but they're pretty unforgiving, much like most ink, I would say. But I love how the line thickness is so dynamic. You just have to be really, really good with your pressure to get all the subtlety you want. So I'm gonna put some cast shadows in here. Then I'll probably go in with a technical pen afterward. probably enough for now on this one. Oh, we can get a little bit of this fun stuff down here just to weight the portrait in the page a little bit better. And so now I'm going to use a... Oh, this thing is this leaking? I don't think so. Okay. I'm going to use a technical pen from Faber-Castell. It's just like a, maybe like a 0.2 millimeter tip. Wish list. Not use those. Is the tip completely separate brush hairs? Yeah, this is, I think it's a Pentel. Yeah, it's a Pentel brush pen. A lot of times used for, what do you call it? Doing like comics and things like that. But yeah, I don't think you'll be able to see this, but the brush pen is just a bunch of separate brushes. I love this pen though. It's like 20 bucks, but it's so nice. Is this from imagination? No, I'm using most of the time I use reference imagery. This is a reference photo from the Sketchy app. Because I'm doing the 30 Faces 30 Days challenge on there. And I'm gonna try to use reference photos only from that app for the challenge. And this is just, like I said, it's just a warm-up sketch. Probably just gonna do like a 2-value pass here where we have lights and we have darks. And that's probably about it. Try to keep it really graphic. I'm trying to get used to pen again because I haven't used, well, pen and ink, I haven't used either in a very long time. Andy says, you do love your Pentel brush pen, but you really struggle with it for fine lines and details. Totally agree. You need to work with a lighter touch. It can be pretty unforgiving. Yeah, it's like, if you can master that pen, holy crap. Like, I think there were, I don't know if it was this sketchbook. I did some fairly calligraphic stuff a long time ago, but it took a long time to do this. Not a long time ago, at the end of last year, I think. And then just trying to flip through. That was some Pentel brush pen stuff right here. But I managed to get some pretty thin lines throughout. That was when I was kind of using it a lot. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, it's probably the best I ever did with it, in terms of control with it. I do love it though. It's so awesome. I should probably try to just like do at least like one sketch a day with it, and specifically try to find subjects that are using or have a lot of fine lines or would benefit from like a really nice calligraphic line. I'm gonna try to do some like loose stuff today, probably. Like I said, right after this, I'll do a little demo of head construction, but for the most part today, I'm just gonna kind of wing it, not measure too much. My goal today is just to do some, we're looking for quantity, not quality. Hey, Florentiki. Fine lines and lighter touch are your current struggles as well. Detailed small drawings are a challenge here. Yeah, but you know, if you do those kinds of drawings, I think that that's how you're going to get better, if you just actually stick with detailed small ones. That said, you'll find some just more overall general success if you work bigger. It's just kind of how it's going to work. Do I want to fill in this hair? I mean, sure, why not? Let's just try. I probably should just use the brush pen for this, but see how it looks when I don't. I've definitely had the most success when I work bigger, and not even much bigger, but just bigger than this. This is a pretty small drawing. Yeah, this will look fine. I didn't intend to use just vertical lines on this, but I guess that's what we're doing. You can manage the not quality bit. I think I've been talking to, my mantra lately has honestly just been like, screw quality, screw accuracy. Those are things to strive for because you'll get better, so that you can, stop sort of caring about it and still come up with a decent outcome. But I've stopped making my goal, to create like a nice finished painting or drawing. It's a lot of pressure, especially when you're just trying to learn some new stuff, to have to try to create something that's good. So I've let go of the quality bit and just tried to focus my efforts on, like right now, a lot of it's dexterity, learning how to use some of these mediums. Just letting go of the pressure to create something good. Because I think that if you let go of that pressure, that eventually you're just gonna you're gonna feel like this is effortless, and you'll just be able to kind of create something good. And not by accident, like it'll just kind of come because you've been practicing other stuff. All right, that's a little drawing. Looks like the glasses are all wonky and too high, but who cares? So I said I was gonna do a little head construction demo here. So I will do that. I'm gonna try not to spend too much time on it, but I'll put the reference photo on the screen. We'll do it with this guy since it's kind of a complicated thing. Okay, that's going to be my reference photo. I'll scale it up just a little bit here. So this is another sort of reference photo from Sketchy. I might drop this down a little bit, just so you can see the pencil lines. So I'm going to work a little bit bigger than I probably would on a given page, but this should hopefully kind of get the point across. So what I generally tend to start with is well, I use the Loomis method. So you can look this up, Stan Prokopenko, or if you go to just search for Proko and drawing. He's got a really good breakdown of the Loomis method, which is a methodology used for sort of constructing heads. So you kind of start with a sphere, down a little bit, and you'll notice that I'm not using a lot of pressure with these lines. I'm just getting a rough kind of gesture in, but it should be pretty circular. Now he's looking down a little bit, so the cranium's going to it's a little bit egg-shaped, like it'll end up being a little bit like oblong, like that. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not exaggerating it too much. I just want to kind of get the basic shape. So the first thing I'll do is I'll bisect the head, and I'm going to look at the sort of angle of the line, and it's a little hard for me I'm kind of looking at something here, but the angle of the sort of side of the head to the eyes that are on the front. So what I'm going to try to do here is kind of split it down the middle like an equator. I need to look at the reference really quick. Okay. So that's sort of roughly the middle of the head-ish. Not quite traversing around it very well, but for sake of this demo, it's probably fine. So we've split it down the middle of the head, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an ellipse that's going to sort of like lop off the side of his head, and I'll do it again on the other side. And then I'll just erase the little extra bit there. So as you can see right away, we're starting to get something that it's almost like a really fat wheel or tire. The angle might be a little bit off. It's funny, I haven't done this method in like just a couple of days and I've already kind of forgotten. Once we've done that, we want to try to find where the hairline would be. And I know doesn't have any here, but usually it's sort of high up on the forehead. Something like that, probably. A little bit down further because he's looking down. And what we're gonna do is take a measurement from that hairline down to, this is actually going to be the brow ridge, so where the eyebrows are. And we're going to measure and then take a mark down here so that we've got this distance to this distance is about the same. And then we're going to do it again. And I'm going to look at the angles of this a little bit. So we know that this is sort of at this kind of an angle. So those are just like distances that we care about. And then what we'll do is we're going to take a center line sort of down the face where we think the center of the head is going to be. And then we'll just drop it straight down at the angle that he's looking. So what we've got here for measurements are going to be the brow. His head's going to come out a little bit more. We've got the brow, we've got the bottom of the nose, and then we've got the bottom of the chin. And what we can do here is on the side of the head, we can kind of bisect that angle again. And this is basically where the jaw is going to be, like where it's going to come out. I'm going to do my best to kind of capture what I can see of the jaw. Gonna have a little bit of a fatty deposit here. And so we've got that much so far. I'm gonna start paying attention to some of the angles of the head. Okay, so now there's one more measurement that's pretty crucial, and it is the splitting of this area into thirds. And what that's going to give us is an approximation of where the bottom of his top lip is going to be, and then the bottom of his the top of his chin is going to be. Now, different people obviously have different kinds of faces and stuff, so it's not totally accurate, but those are just general rules. And this may or may not actually end up looking like him. So now I'm going to go ahead and place the ear. And I'm looking at my reference. I'm not just kind of doing this blindly. And I can see from the reference photo that the ear is going to approximately arrive at the top of the brow bone. So I'm going to lower this a little bit. He's generally got kind of small ears. And it happens just behind this center line. And it usually kind of ends definitely above the corner of the jaw. Maybe it's even a little bit higher than that. And the whole point of all of this is, again, we're trying, like I was asked, how do you place features? And this is a really good technique for getting features to at least sit in the face in a decent way. So let's go ahead and these angles look a little bit funky to me, but let's see what happens. So a few things are happening here. One, let's go ahead and start trying to get some of these features in. So we're gonna want the brow bone to hit at approximately, the top of that brow ridge, that line that we drew. And with our center line, like that's the line if we were to have gone straight down the face, but we know that, the features of the face come off the face. So we'll start making it come off the face. I'm gonna do my best to kind of capture his specific features. Now the bottom of the nose, his nose is gonna dip a little bit past that because he's looking down. And normally, people will say, oh, the bottom of the nose is where the bottom of the ear is, but because he's looking down, we've got a bit of a perspective shift here. And then this side of that circle lines up really nicely with sort of the corner where the cranium starts to turn. Okay, so push his jaw out a little bit more. And when I was saying that the nose kind of comes out, we're going to go ahead and try to figure out approximately where that edge of that nose would be. And usually you can measure if you're sort of far enough away so that you can get a general relationship between, say, the length of the nose and the width of the nose, but it's pretty hard to do when working this small, so I just have to kind of eyeball it and hope it works out. Now if I look at the nostril angle here, see, it's something like that. So the nostril's kind of gonna come up a little bit and go around like that. The outside of the nostril. So I'm gonna erase a little bit of this. And what we've got is the inside of the nostril that we can just kind of barely see underneath. And we're gonna go ahead and draw some of the shadow shapes in the brow that go into the eye. And when we're trying to figure out where the eye goes, in this case, I can see that the outside of the nostril is kind of going to go almost straight up to the tear duct, which we'll place in just a second. But what we're going to do first is sort of do a raw shadow shape of approximately where the socket's going to hold the eye. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, so now I want to make sure that my brow line is kind of even. Feels like maybe, let's see what happens when I do this. Feels approximately right. We're going to need to tilt this chin up a little bit here. This looks weird because these lines are going downward, but everything's kind of a little bit off right now. Okay, but yeah, tear duct is going to be somewhere in this area. And then the same thing from over here, but it's probably just going to be kind of like that, right? So if this is our brow ridge, I need to get rid of some of these construction lines. They're a little clumsy. This is our brow ridge. Probably want to make sure that we really sort of emphasize the roundness of this area. I really want the chin to feel like it's coming around. Okay, so if the tear duct is there, then we know that the socket of the eye is kind of sitting somewhere back here, and then same thing over here. So you can kind of see where those eyeballs are sitting, right? And we got to remember that the eyelid really wraps around the eyeball. So it's not just like a diamond shape or anything. Probably not that wide. Okay. We see his brow, we see this brow on this side. I want to make sure that the head is sort of coming out far enough here. A little bit of a lump on the side, and then it kind of goes up. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but We can get this a little bit tighter. No, go away. So let's finish out these lids. Now he's got like, I don't even know what you call this, kind of skin that comes down when he furrows his brow. And then on this side, it's a little less evident, but it's there as well. And then got some bags under his eyes. Let's go ahead and try to clarify a little bit more of sort of nose. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the features that are sort of on the outside. I haven't seen anything in chat. I'm just going to refresh the chat really quick. All right, so we know that the cheekbone kind of starts up near the eye and then kind of gonna come down. And then we've got this mouth part to deal with. We can probably finish up the neck over here. So now we've got the mouth part to sort of contend with, and like I said, this is going to be the bottom of the top lip. This is going to be sort of the top of the chin. And then no matter what, if we look at this, there's this like rhythm that kind of goes around here. And we've got sort of the tooth cylinder that holds all these teeth together. And so if we look at it and look at the bottom of the nose, we'll see that it does protrude. We want to make sure that we don't put the mouth middle back here, but rather we have it kind of come out of the face. And so really the middle of the mouth is somewhere over here, like the center of the lip. And I'm just going to look really quick and see where the corner of his mouth is. It's almost out near his edge of his iris. So, and that's totally not right because I made my eyes way too wide. Take them in a little bit. Okay. So, as I was saying, from the outside of the iris approximately, any favorite artist, your style can wander depending upon whose work you saw last. I'm exactly the same way. Yeah, lately I've been really into, what's his name? Flesh.png. That's some good stuff right there. It's just, I don't know, it's really rough and raw and good. It just looks really free, I guess is the way to put it. It's not too measured or anything, but he's totally capable of doing that stuff. Yeah, I don't know, it's just good stuff. That's what I'm really into right now. It's like starts out as usually pencil. It either gets a photo taken of it and scanned in and then kind of, excuse me, colored in Procreate. But yeah. I'm not really sure who else off the top of my head has really been kind of influencing me too much. So his mouth is going to be a little bit lower because his mouth is pointing downward. We're gonna get a little bit of a perspective shift here. That's the bottom of his lip. Make sure it protrudes, and then it's got pretty thin lips. And then we're gonna go over here again. And I said that the corner of his mouth kind of extends all the way over there. Now, again, this is a lot easier to do if you're working bigger, because then you can really truly measure the relationship to different features, because everyone's features are different. You know, that's what makes us unique. But in terms of a methodology for kind of getting features to sit in their generally correct places, this method works pretty well. So again, this is the top of the chin. I'm just kind of looking, studying the outer contours. See that his chin's going to come over here a little bit and kind of go up. Find that t-shirt. Oh well. Find some of the collar of what he's wearing, which looks like a very nice cardigan or bathrobe. It's one of the two. We've got some stuff here. We've got this nice rhythm line kind of here. So now I'm going to erase those construction lines. At the moment I want to see if I can produce transparent oil washes like ash wood. I haven't taken a look at his stuff in a long time. I know that when I was in college he was God when it came to sort of character, or not character, but like concept art and stuff, and some character design too. But I haven't seen what he's been doing in the last decade really. But transparent oil washes. I'll have to take a look at his stuff again. I know I'm following him, but you know how on Instagram it doesn't always show you the most recent stuff that you follow. What you just said about the 2-cylinder is interesting, as I do have mouth placement issues or angles like this. Can you elaborate on that at all? Is the curve facing outwards? Yeah, the curve is absolutely facing outwards. So again, if we've got our skull and then we've got sorry, I'm not even showing you that. If we've got our sort of top part of our skull and we've got kind of the front and center line of the face, and we got the brow bone, and we've got the hairline, and we've got the bottom of the nose, and we've got the bottom of the face, and we kind of chop off some of this stuff. And then we have probably some sort of cheekbone here that comes down into a chin. So if we're doing that, zoom in a little bit. If we're doing something like that, then when we're talking about that tooth cylinder, it's literally a cylinder of teeth that sits in front of the face. And it sits in a way that, like if this is the top of the cylinder, and this is the sides and bottom of the cylinder, if this is the bottom of the nose, and the nose kind of comes out in sort of a triangular shape, where that's the middle, and then the bottom of the nose is there, then you can see that I originally drew my center line coming straight down off the top, but the reality is the center line, while it meets the face at the bottom of the nose, the center line is actually going to come out and protrude and then go back in until it meets the chin. It's a little off. So once you've got that, and you can also think of it as like a sphere that kind of protrudes too. But you can see how, oh, if this is the bottom, this is the Cupid's bow. Mouth is probably around here. The mouth wraps around. We've got the bottom lip. So if I clean this up a little bit, and that tooth cylinder is actually like, that's your muzzle, and it will protrude, much like if you look at his here, you know, this sort of muzzle is very much protruding outside of his face. It's not just a straight line coming down here. So that's also going to kind of push the mouth out here. Right. So yeah, if you can just think about this as like a ball that really pushes the mouth out and not just a straight line that comes back from here. So you can see if I just drew a straight line kind of back from where the nose ends, it's not hitting the center of the lips. This line needs to be coming out. So hopefully that helps you out, Andy. But definitely go take a look at the Loomis method online. Just look up Loomis, Loomis. Flavia, I don't know if that's actually in the Loomis method, but it is definitely a real thing that exists in the head. So if I start, oh, I was drawing the ear. Let me just finish up this ear really quick. I love drawing ears. Okay, now we'll get a little bit of where his hairline is and where it starts to meet up with the cheekbone. Pull this down just a little bit. Like I said, his ears are actually pretty small. I probably made them too big. Okay, I'm going to start erasing construction lines here. So I don't even know how much time I spent on that, but if you were really trying to get accurate, you would spend even more time on it than that. You know, and as you practice the method, you'll get faster and faster. But yeah, if you want to get something that looks like somebody, unless you've kind of been drawing for a very long time and just really have all your fundamentals really down solid, it can be really hard to get a really strong likeness. So it looks to me like his mouth's a little bit low. So what we might do is just take it up a little bit. And I should stress that sometimes you've got this feature placed and you realize that it looks weird. Erase it. Start over. Make sure we get some of these fatty pads. Hey Eddie, no problem, you're quite welcome. So it looks like I've got a little, I need to thin this out a little bit. Probably cut off a little bit of that chin. And this is usually where, you'd sort of go in and start kind of defining shadow shapes and stuff, but he doesn't have a very strong lighting source or light source in this image. So we don't get to do that fun part. When you're working this small too, even the most subtle little shaving off of like 1/2 millimeter or something can really help kind of fix what looks like a feature that is pretty off. It's kind of amazing how the very most like subtle changes can really make or break the believability of where something's sitting on the face. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I feel like I should probably do something with this drawing since I drew it. And what I mean by that is I should probably like do something with it, color pencil or whatever. But my goal is to not do really tight stuff. So for today, I just kind of want to kick out some drawings. So let me think on this for a second. I just want to stand up for a minute. How long have I been going? Almost an hour. I'm going to go for probably another hour, but I just need to stand up and walk around for a second. So I'm going to do that. Everybody go get some water, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do. And then we'll do something with this. My goal here wasn't to, I could still move his mouth up even further now that I look at it again. That's kind of why I want to step away. I just want to see if there's anything sort of glaring at me that like looks off. It's good to walk away from your work for a little while. But yeah, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna go take a break, have some water, all that kind of good stuff. Y'all should do the same, but I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, after having stepped away, I can see why this feels weird to me, and it's because his mouth is still in the wrong place. So I was talking about that tooth cylinder. His isn't coming out nearly as much, and it's because his head's tilted. And so I'm gonna bring it in just a little bit. And I'm still gonna bring his mouth up a little bit more. Nope. Okay, this might look fine after, I don't know what, after we do something here. Okay, oh, let's just make sure we have a good understanding of where his hairline actually is. Might take off a little bit from up here. Okay. I guess let's try to use pen. I need to look back at a drawing really quick. I want to see how I approached. Is that it? That one. And this one, marker. Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's just try something. I feel like starting small might be good. I don't want to get too tight with this. Maybe I should use a brush pen. Yeah, let's mess this up. We need to take some risks today. So going back to the Pentel brush pen, and let's just see what we can do. So I'm probably still going to use some sort of a hatching-esque technique. It's not going to be too precious about it. And then I guess we'll just go in with some other lines afterward. Wish list. The figure of the girl that you showed earlier in your sketchbook that is done with a brush pen and has some areas of flat gray wash. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And I wouldn't recommend, this is a Moleskine sketchbook, so I wouldn't recommend you do it in this kind of a sketchbook. I think this is the one you're talking about. So this is Prismacolor marker. It's just buildup of markers. So like 10%, I think I went 10%, 30%, 40% maybe, and just kind of slowly built it up. I really like working like this, by the way. It's just this was not the thing to do it in, because I don't know if you can see this. How is it? So the opposite page, you can see these sort of weird dark areas. That's the ink marker, or the marker, kind of washing through. So definitely recommend, if you do that, to use some, what do you call it? Like marker rendering paper. It's really the best stuff to use. And you can pick it up at an art store. But yeah, it's one of my favorite ways of working with ink, because especially this ink just dries and is waterproof. So you can go over it with marker to kind of color in, which is awesome. I just love it. I love it so much. Yeah, it is very effective. It's I'd highly recommend you try it out if you get a chance to. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of following my instinct, I guess, of maybe how to lay in some of these lines. I need to get a little bit more line variety in here. tried doing it with Faber-Castell gray wash pens, and they streak horribly. We'll try some markers. I think they can be blended. Yeah, they can be blended. They're an alcohol-based. The Prismacolor ones are an alcohol-based marker. I think Copic makes some really good ones too. I've got a couple really beautiful colors on that front, but I think for grayscale, personally, I really enjoy the Prismacolor ones. But yeah, they can be blended, and you can either use a colorless blender if you want to, but you can also just blend straight up with the marker. It's just really important that you lay down the lighter value markers on top of, or first, and then go in with the darker value ones, because otherwise you're gonna end up getting darker value kind of contamination on your what do you call it? Like on your lighter markers. So if you use your lighter markers to kind of go in afterward, after you've already laid down some dark stuff, then the dark stuff will get on your lighter colors, which you don't want. But you can do it the other way, because it doesn't matter if your darker markers get light values on them. I don't like what's happening in the eye, but I think we can fix it. All about trying to make it work, even if it looks like I screwed up. I don't like this line. Another thing about this paper, it's not really good for this kind of ink either, because I'm starting to see some bleed, which is, it's not like the end of the world or anything, but just now that I'm kind of looking at it really close, it doesn't hold its sharp line, again, like marker rendering paper might. Yeah, not too pleased with the line from this stuff, but it's okay. We'll make it work. Okay, let's try to see what we can salvage with marker or with pen. I don't want to use these big ones. I feel like I should use that same small that I used before. Okay, so where do we start? I want to fix this eye. Not trying to be too perfect with these lines. I don't want to do a really quick kind of best first pass at everything here. And then we'll see what happens. I'm going to take the reference off the screen now because it doesn't matter whether or not it looks like that. So it's a little bit, in my mind, a little bit easier to judge the drawing when you get so far and you get rid of the reference, because I'm a big fan of saying don't be a slave to your reference. And I'm just looking at it now to make sure that I'm sort of understanding the overall like form curvatures. Like all the planes. Probably not going to be super happy with the end product here, but pretty fun. I didn't really go in with a plan for how I was going to treat the stubble here. Okay, we're going to go over with a more fine marker in a little bit. I just want to get all the basic big shapes. feel like I'm drawing fish scales. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a slightly thinner pen and take out all my construction lines now. Okay, what do we got? It's extra small. I'm using this smaller pen just to get some of the more subtle values. Step back up for another pass up here. The work you're most often drawn to is representational but has abstract or unfinished elements. Those abstract bits are the hardest to do successfully to me. Same. I think we probably have very similar tastes. Always feel like I want to get better at sort of not selectively, but just kind of intuitively leaving stuff, abstracting what needs to be abstracted as gesture, and putting, whether it's the detail or this, whatever it may be, that is kind of makes it sing. Like the contrast of detail and abstraction is like a really magical thing. I think I hit it sometimes, but I'd love to hit it with more consistency. Well, my friend Nick wants to play GTA, so I'm gonna wrap this sketch up and I'm gonna go play Grand Theft Auto 5 because I need to make money and outfit my apartment on there. Hey Wishlist, have fun with Division 2. Alright, well, made it work, I think. Isn't too bad. I didn't really know what was going to come of it, so that's fun. I like when the result is sort of not part of the expectation. Looks like something from GTA, believe it or not. Andy, you're welcome. Enjoy the rest of my day. It's late in the UK, yeah. Perfectly pleasant way to wrap off the day. Well, good. I'm glad you were able to join. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. This was fun. I'm gonna try to do this probably every weekend. It's like a really great way to spend a couple of hours and knock out a couple of these drawings. So what did we do today? We did this thing as part of a head construction demo, and this is a mess. What else did we do? We did another drawing in here somewhere. Oh yeah, this one. This one. So really quick, sort of like brush pen sketch, and then we went in with something a little more finished. So yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Hey, you're welcome, everybody. So I hope you have a fantastic day. This video will be up later if you want to re-watch it. YouTube just needs to do its compression magic or whatever, but if you check back tomorrow, you'll see it on my channel. And that's it. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and into your Monday. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.